Alright, so boom, 2013 was my last year living in ATL. And that was the year that Vine was popping, you know what I'm saying? I put out a mixtape, I put out a lot of videos. Then I signed a management deal and it didn't really work out. But it was all good. 2014, I officially moved from Atlanta. And I ended up doing a lot of traveling. I went from Atlanta to Dallas to LA to New York, back to LA, back to New York, back to Atlanta, back to New York, back to LA. It was crazy. And I changed my diet that year. I stopped eating red meat and it completely changed my whole body. I also changed my name, which was something that was put in my head by my management at the time, but I later realized it was exactly what I needed for where I was heading. Shot a music video, and at the end of that year I ended up back in Dallas, but I didn't really have a place to make music. I couldn't make beats, I couldn't make videos freely. I didn't really have a place to do my thing like I was used to. Then I stopped posting and I would not end up posting on social media for at least 7 years after that. But 2015 I was determined to get a space to work, so I went on a studio hunt in Dallas, and at the end of that year finally got a studio. So 2016 I had the studio, but then realized I didn't really get enough time in it, so I ended up getting another studio, and then it just got a little crazy. But I was back on the beats and I was hustling so I can make sure I can pay up my part of the rents. Went to Canada, went to New York, started wearing locks, and then I bought a car and moved to LA in December. When I got to LA, I had a whole different type of hustle than ever before. I was hopping around from Airbnb to Airbnb, and so 6 months later I finally got an apartment. I turned vegan that year, and through a lot of divine guidance I finalized my name as Ariel Force, spelled with the number 4. I finally had the apartment, but then soon realized, not again. I need a studio. I gotta work. I gotta cook and be free. So in 2018, after a lot of soul searching, I gave my room up and got a studio. And after Airbnb hopping for a little bit again, I decided to go homeless and sleep in my car in my studio for about a year. But me not having to pay rent meant I can invest in the studio faster. But it's all good. We made it through the storm because 2019, I ended up renting out another room. I also ended up unvegan, y'all. I had a lot of deficiencies, and that's a whole nother video. I don't want to get into it real deep right now. But I finally had enough equipment to rent my studio out to the public, so I didn't have to hustle as much, at least like before. And then 2020 comes, COVID hit, got kicked out of my studio, but I ended up moving into a nicer space. I got a new apartment. Everything was on a new side of town. It was a whole new life. Everything I knew was just different. 2021, I started to learn guitar again, started posting on TikTok, posted on YouTube for the first time in 7 years. And then I started engineering and having more sessions. And in 2022, I'm just blessed to be here, working consistently on my goals and truly operating in my gifts.